Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be explaining the extremely important 4-year time skip in Attack on Titan, and I will break down how the world of Attack on Titan has changed in that time. If you are an anime only and you need some more clarification about what exactly is going on in the final season of the anime, or if you're a manga reader who just needs a refresher as you go into the final season, then this video is for you. If you enjoyed the Attack on Titan content on this channel and you want us to keep it going, please leave a like and comment, it really does help. And if you're new to AnimeUproar, or maybe you just haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. We are going to be dropping a lot more Attack on Titan content in the future, so you really want to get notified when those videos actually drop. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. Heads up, this video will provide context for what the world of Attack on Titan looks like at the beginning of the final season of the anime. I will not be spoiling major events in the story, but depending on how far you are in the anime at the time of watching this video, you may get some information that is yet to be revealed in the story. So if you are super sensitive to spoilers, you have been warned. With that said though, this is all information about the world itself and the geopolitical circumstances of that world at the time of the time skip. I will not be revealing information about events that are yet to occur in the future. Also, this video will focus on the current global situation beyond the walls, because that is where the plot of the story is focused at the beginning of the final anime season. If you want me to make a second video talking about everything that happened within the walls during the time skip, then leave a like on this video, and if we can get 15,000 likes, I will make that second video as well. Now, at the beginning of the final anime season, the powerful nation of Marley, the nation where Eren's father Grisha was born, is currently at war with a rival power called the Mid-East Alliance. Marley is a military dictatorship that has been fighting for dominance of the vast continent upon which it is located. And this current war that Marley is engaged in against the Mid-East Alliance has been raging for 4 years. The Marleyans generally hate and oppress the Eldian people, as we saw in the previous season. The Eldians live inside internment zones like Liberio, the place where Grisha grew up, and they are denied even basic human rights and freedoms. They are also labeled as the spawn of the devils because of their unique ability to transform into titans. This name comes from the Marleyan belief that Eldians gained the power to transform into titans after their ancestor Ymir Fritz made a deal with a devil. Ironically though, even though the Marleyans hate and oppress their Eldian minority, the very fact that Marley has an Eldian minority is the very thing that has given this nation a military advantage over all other nations for the past 100 years. The first episode of the final season of the anime does a great job of demonstrating how the Marleyan military has incorporated titans into their combat strategy. The Marleyan military combines modern weapons like guns and cannons with titan powers in order to assert their dominance over rival nations. These rival nations do not have a native Eldian population, and so these other nations do not have access to titan powers. But Marley does have access to Eldians, and they use both mindless titans and titan shifters in their military operations. In that first episode of the final season, we witnessed the Marleyan assault on Fort Slava, which is the last remaining stronghold of the Mid-East Alliance after 4 long years of conflict. During this assault, we can see how the Marleyan army uses Eldian soldiers in various different ways. Some Eldians are used as basically cannon fodder, some are used as mindless titans, and those elite Eldian recruits who are part of the warrior unit are trained to use the various titan shifter powers. But what is the warrior unit? The most promising Eldian recruits inside the Marleyan military are selected at a very young age to become warrior candidates. They are then extensively trained and tested until a very small number, the very best of the best, are eventually selected to inherit one of the Titan shifter powers. And as we know, because of the Curse of Ymir, someone new has to inherit a Titan shifter power every 13 years, so new recruits are needed. Now, potential warrior unit candidates are extensively brainwashed with Marleyan propaganda. From a very young age, they are raised to believe that their ancestors were evil monsters and spawn of the devil who did terrible things to all other nations. They are also raised to believe that all the Eldians on the island of Paradis are pure evil and that it is every warrior's duty to sacrifice their own life for Marley. The warrior recruits are told that sacrificing their life for Marley is the only way for them to make up for the sins of their fellow Eldians. They are taught that showing undying loyalty to Marley is the only way to prove that not all Eldians are bad and evil monsters. Some warrior recruits like Annie saw through this propaganda right away, but others like Reiner and Gabby bought it wholeheartedly. On top of the blatant propaganda though, warrior recruits are also incentivized to sacrifice their lives for Marley with the promise of honorary Marleyan citizenship. Honorary Marleyan citizenship is a special status that is awarded to members of the warrior unit and their families. And this status allows them to avoid the constant persecution and discrimination that all the other Eldians face in Marley. In theory, this status is supposed to make them something close to equal to the other citizens of Marley. But it is highly questionable whether an Eldian can ever truly be considered free and equal in Marleyan society. The hatred of the Marleyans for the Eldians runs very deep, and while some warrior recruits believe that Marleyan citizenship is a great honor, others believe that honorary Marleyan citizenship is just a farce. Now, the other Titan shifter that appears during the attack on Fort Slava, the one with the crazy teeth and jaw, is the new Jaw Titan. This is the same Titan shifter power that was formerly controlled by Ymir from the 104th Training Corps. But this power is now being controlled by warrior unit member Porco Galliard. Porco is actually the younger brother of Marcel Galliard, and Marcel is the boy who had controlled the Jaw Titan initially, before he was eaten by Ymir's mindless Titan on the island of Paradis some 9 years earlier. But okay, let's talk about the war between Marley and the Mid-East Alliance and what started it in the first place. Basically, Marley has been using their Titan powers, and Titan shifter powers in particular, to dominate rival nations for nearly a century. However, once word got out that Marley not only failed to capture the founding Titan on Paradis, but that they also managed to lose control of the female Titan and the Colossal Titan, the Mid-East Alliance decided that this was the perfect time to attack. That is how important Titan shifter powers have become in global geopolitics. The fact that Marley lost 2 of the Titan shifters emboldened their enemies to attack them, and as a result, a bloody 4-year war erupted on the continent. Luckily for Marley, they did ultimately manage to win this war as a result of their successful attack on Fort Slava. But even though they technically came out of this war as winners, Marley still has a major problem. They have been relying far too much on the power of the Titans, because that is what made them the dominant military power in the world for many decades. But while Marley has been relying on Titans, the other nations were Titanless. The fact that they didn't have Titans of their own to fight against Marley's Titans forced these other nations to come up with new ways to oppose the Titans. So, while Marley focused on using Titans in battle, their enemies focused on creating new and more powerful weapons technology. Weapons that are strong enough to defeat even the Titans. As we saw during the Battle of Fort Slava, the Mid-East Alliance did have modern weapons that were powerful enough to take down Titans. They invented artillery rounds that could pierce even the armored Titan's body. And so Reiner and the other Titan shifters had a few very close calls with the artillery during the Battle of Fort Slava. Yes, the Titans won in the end, and therefore Marley won the war, but the rest of the world has come to realize that Titan powers are no longer invincible. Media all over the world are reporting that the Mid-East Alliance was able to seriously threaten the dominance of the Titans with their advanced modern weapons. And as modern technology continues to improve at a rapid rate, it is clear that Titan powers alone are no longer going to be good enough to preserve Marley's position as the world's strongest power. Marleyan military officials are fully aware of this fact. Even though they just won a war, they feel like their nation is in imminent danger. Their reliance on Titans has put the nation of Marley behind other nations when it comes to modern weapons technology, and this is a massive problem. if weapons technology continues to advance at such a fast pace, and if airplane and airship technology in particular continues to advance so rapidly, then Titan powers will soon become useless. I mean, if Marley's enemies can just use airships and airplanes to dump a bunch of massive bombs right on top of their Titans, then the Titans will get blown to bits and they will be useless. And so, the Marleyan military is now in a serious predicament. They still have the strongest military in the world for the time being because of their Titan powers, but they know that this state of affairs is fleeting. In the very near future, their rivals will inevitably defeat them with their superior technology. Unless Marley makes drastic changes soon, its destruction is inevitable. After some prompting from Zeke Yeager, the Marleyan military decides that they should once again attack Paradis Island. They need to finally get their hands on the founding Titan power, and they need to recover the female and colossal Titan. If they can do this, then they can remain the dominant military power for long enough to catch up to the rest of the world technologically. And so, after 4 years, the island of Paradis is once again a target for the Marleyan military and for Zeke Yeager and the Marleyan warriors in particular. But it won't be so easy this time around. The Eldians on Paradis now have the colossal Titan power along with Eren's attack Titan. And in fact, during the course of the time skip, Marley sent 32 scouting ships to Paradis Island, and none of those ships ever returned. The islanders are clearly serious about defending the island and protecting themselves, and they are fully aware that enemies across the ocean are targeting them. So, infiltrating Paradis won't be so easy this time around. It certainly won't be like last time, when most of the islanders didn't even know that the outside world existed. But beyond Marleyan military interests, the current geopolitical situation in the world of Attack on Titan could bring about the end of the entire Eldian race. As we know, the Eldian people are despised by Marleyans, but the Eldians are allowed to continue living in Marley because the country's military still relies on Titan powers, and only Eldians can become Titans. But because Marleyans have been using Eldian Titans to subjugate other nations for nearly 100 years, those other nations also hate Eldians and see them as dangerous monsters. So, what do you think will happen to the Eldians once Titan powers are no longer an important factor in modern warfare? The sad truth is that once Titan powers become irrelevant on the battlefield, the Eldian people will become disposable. Everyone hates and fears them because of their ability to turn into Titans, and when they are no longer needed, their future will be very bleak. No one has any sympathy for them in Marley or in the other nations, and when we get to the point that no one relies on the Eldians and their Titan shifter powers anymore, it is highly likely that they will be completely exterminated. They are not viewed as human beings by the Marleyans and the other global powers. They are viewed as monsters and devils. And so when they are no longer needed for anything, they will likely be disposed of. That is the ugly truth that every Eldian in Marley who is aware of the current geopolitical situation has to grapple with, including Zeke, Reiner, and all the others. And that is where we are at this point in the story. One big war has just ended, but another one could erupt at any moment. Modern weapons technology is quickly surpassing the power of the Titans, and that could mean big trouble for the nation of Marley and for every single Eldian living in Marley. And of course, the island of Paradis is once again in the crosshairs of the Marleyan military. But this time the Marleyans are going to be facing a very different type of opponent on the island. If you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like and comment to let me know. And if you want to see me make a part 2 where I explain everything that happened on the island of Paradis itself during the time skip, then make sure that we get this video to 15,000 likes, and I will make that second video for you guys as well. Don't forget to subscribe to AnimeUproar and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. And you can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. I want to give a big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons for making videos like this one possible. Special thank you to Alpha Sigma, disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, The World, A Quiet Respect, Liam Thompson, Pate Heffa, Rathian YX, Emperor Otaku, Thomas Jones, Spidey Life Denel, Baked Buddhist, Tungsten Tarkus, and Denki Kaminari. And finally, thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatsky, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica Califon, Alicia Octer, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, their red-haired Raven, Florian, Joanne Garcia, Jack Watches Anime, Fatboy Games, Deadly Saint, Matthew Cruz, and Anthony Schreiber. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value for you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!